Hey there, Sagar. Let's take a look at this set of essays you've written. This is about employees switching jobs. There are two camps when it comes to the question of whether one should stay in the same job for one's entire life or switch. In my opinion, an employee should jump to a new opportunity whenever. Maybe jump at a new opportunity whenever they get the chance to do so. This would become clear once we consider the points below. Okay. The first thing, no, I don't like this. First thing is, it's far too conversational. It's not really academic, so let's change that a little bit, all right? Firstly, switching jobs boosts an employee's confidence as they get an opportunity to interact with different people when they join a new organization. Recent surveys have proved that a whopping 70% of those who switch jobs are bold decision makers. I am not surprised by this result as my personal experience. How about this? Let's make it less personal and instead say something like, this is not surprising. From my, I don't know, I don't really like this kind of thing where they make it too personal. Yeah, I know it says use examples from your personal life, but it just doesn't sound particularly formal or academic, so that's it. Okay, let's see, let's start one more time. I am not surprised. Okay, this result is not surprising. As it is clear that even from personal experience that people who switch jobs are better at making life decisions than those who stuck to their first job. In fact, I don't even know how much you really need to say this because it's really rather repetitive. So I would have preferred something else. I mean, you've got this nice statistic, so you really could just say, therefore, it is clear that there are many benefits to be gained from switching jobs. You could have said something like that, which would probably be more appropriate. Furthermore, there are financial benefits to switching jobs, plural. When one stays at the same workplace, an increase in compensation is guided by the annual performance review. Okay. While if they decide to switch, they can choose an organization which is ready to pay higher. For example, my friends who decide to stay with their initial employer earn far less than me. All right, again, it's really a lot of personal language. Then, you know what? This shouldn't have been its own paragraph. This really should have been continued. This should have been a continuation of the previous paragraph. So it was a poor choice to change paragraph, so you should have attached it, okay? That's the first thing. So that's in terms of coherence and cohesion. This was fine. And then while if they decide to switch, they can choose an organization which is ready to pay higher. And then you could say, for example, rather than talking about your friends again, you could use maybe a more statistical example. For example, you could say, for example, it has been shown that people who change jobs every 5 years earn 20% more than those who do not. Okay? Let's move on. Another very important advantage is the opportunity to learn new skills. When one works at different organizations, they get to learn new businesses, new domains, and new ways of solving problems. If one does not learn new skills, they can become redundant in the job market. This reminds me, okay, a friend again. This reminds me of my friend who decided to stay with his first employer as a manual tester. Now most organizations find him unemployable, as testing is the only skill he has. All right, again, you could have made this less personal sounding. So, for example, when one has one skill his entire profession, he may find himself made redundant when this need is no longer exists in the market. You could have just said something like that. After considering the aforementioned advantages, it is clear that switching jobs at least once would be a wise career move, not only from a financial perspective, but also from a personal development standpoint. I think would be better. All right, the conclusion is fine, but I'll tell you, let's see. You said that they should jump to a new job. Okay. Okay, so a few things that I want to mention additionally is the fact that you had 3 body paragraphs, which we don't really recommend. Typically, we recommend a 4-paragraph structure. You have an introduction, a conclusion, and then 2 body paragraphs, and that's it. And the other thing that you could have done here, in fact, that most people choose to do, is they choose to mention both sides of this argument. So both the fact that some people should stay in the same job, and then the other side that some people should switch jobs. So I'm wondering if you could have thought of some advantages to staying in the same job. Are there any advantages? Is there anything to be gained? Okay. You decided not to talk about that and only talk about the one side, which makes it seem a little, well, basically one-sided, which it is. Okay. I'd like to see you try to have talked about the other sides as well. All right. Anyway, you should have another essay here, so let's see what you wrote. This is the English and Homestay program. Let's see what you said. Dear Sally, this letter is with regards to the stay I booked at your home through Airbnb. I am Ram from India. I will be accompanied by my wife Sita on this trip. We are excited to visit UK and experience some English lifestyle. All right, this is incorrect. You've misunderstood the topic. You've misunderstood what a host family is and what a homestay program is. Basically, a homestay is when you stay in someone's home, but you stay with them. They're your host family. They will be, you'll basically be included in their life, okay? So it's not Airbnb, and this is incorrect. Let's see. Okay, fine. The grammar is okay. I didn't like this I am Ram from India. It's very, very elementary. You could have introduced yourself a little differently. You could have said, my name is Ram, and I am, I don't know, a mechanical engineer from India or something like that. Just say a little more about yourself rather than just I am Ram from India. All right, there are a few things we would like to know to properly plan our trip. The first thing is how is the weather during that time? As we would like to plan our clothes accordingly. Clothes with an E. I have heard it gets rather cold in winter. Okay, you got to put a full stop here somewhere. So the first thing is how is the weather during that time? Full stop. We would like to pack our clothes accordingly, and I have heard it gets rather cold during winter. Also, it would be great if you could send a list of nearby attractions so that we could decide on places to visit during the stay. Finally, what would be the best option to get around? Public transport or a car? This is a question. Where's the question mark? We would be arriving, no, not we would be. We will be arriving at the London airport by 1:30 p.m. on the 3rd of October. It would be nice if you could arrange for someone to receive us at the airport. If that is too much to ask, please guide us as to what would be the best option to reach your home by train, bus, or a cab. Okay? That's not a question, so you don't need a question mark here. Awaiting your response. Regards, Ram. Okay. Here's the thing. You don't know these people. You've never met them before, all right? You've simply been given their name and address to contact them for your English and Homestay program, which means that really it's a better idea to write this in a more formal style. This is not an informal letter. However, you have written it as an informal letter. So that just changes the language considerably, and what kind of words, what kind of language, what kind of tone you need to use. Okay? Okay, so I think you have enough feedback to correct these essays and to help improve on your next ones. So go ahead and correct these, and let's say another set from you. Okay? Good luck to you.